What is it about the lifestyle that our youth, I won't even say the youth, what is it about the lifestyle that we as a people are so proud of? I went to a recent Black Joy parade and couldn't get around the question, what are we joyful about? Nobody could answer that question for me with all honesty. There was a lot of excessive ratchetness. There was a lot of dope being smoked, willies in the street, just a lot of unprofitable behavior going on. And when I asked the question, what are we so joyful about? The main answer I was getting was being black. And that just didn't add up to a credible answer for me. That just, when it was said and done, that answer, it just was unfulfilling to the question. So now, let me be clear about some things and let's get to some understanding that we seem to lack when it comes to ourselves. All right? First and foremost, we didn't get here by accident. We didn't get here by chance. Not at all, not even close. Everything and everyone has a reason. When we become comfortable having the least of things in society, having the least of things in the world, having the least of things as a people, to the point where we glorify having the least as if we had the most, is total confusion. And that is not our reason. That is not the definition of who we are. We were actually put here with a real intention. We were actually put here to be the light of the world. We was actually put here to thrive. We weren't sent here, we weren't created just to exist and be passed up as if we were just another random tree or a random bush in a row of bushes. That's not our purpose. That's not our design. That's not our reason. We were here for more than just existing. The funny thing about it is we know that deep within us lies a seed of greatness. We know it's there. But when it comes to cultivating greatness, nobody can water that seed except the person. That seed is in you. Nobody else knows about it. You have to water it. You have to pay it attention. You have to give it the necessary means of attention it needs for that seed to grow from a seed, to grow roots downward, and to grow upward as a tree. Only you can do that. The way that's going to happen is you're going to have to make a real decision to focus on yourself. And you're going to have to learn how to keep that focus on yourself till the time where you're actually winning. I can't help but to argue with the fact that we just here to pay bills, go to work, slave, and die. That's not our purpose. We bigger than that. We better than that. We were made in the image of God, and we are not going to continue to settle for that. We made with more intention. We were made with more to us than to just be here at the bottom level, calculating every dollar that goes into our basket because we lack. That's not what we're here for. We were here to be made greater than that. But we have to search within us to bring that greatness on the outside of us. We got to do that. We have to learn how to do that. From the time that sperm left the man and entered that egg in that woman, you were already designed and planned out what your life would be. The book of Jeremiah, God says, before I formed thee in your mother's womb, I knew you. How did he know us? Because he already designed you. He already planned your life. He already had an intricate blueprint concerning you as an individual. You did not just pop up by chance or osmosis. You didn't just come out of nowhere. You didn't just pop up on a slave ship in the 1600s. You did not just come out of nowhere to be in servitude, and that's it. That's not the way it happened. Instead, I would argue that you were actually placed here strategically to exist in this particular moment, in this particular society, in this particular generation, to be a light to the world and not the example of what the world has to offer at its worst. That's not our position. That is actually part of a different people's design, but it's been disguised and programmed to make you believe that that's your mission. But that has never been our mission. Along the line somewhere, people keep trying to hijack your mission, but you got an assignment that ain't no one else going to be able to fulfill because it's your mission, it's your reason for existing. And it really don't matter what you've been through or where it started or how bad it's gotten, because the beginning of your story does not define what's going to happen as the end result. You are actually in the power to change how things occur in your life, no matter how bad they started, or no matter what point you were at your highest, or what point you got to on your lowest. That doesn't matter. That's not the end all. That's not, that's not the final chapter in your story. I think sometimes we get too caught up with, the circumstances, and we get hung up on the way those circumstances made you feel. And instead of using those things as fuel, a lot of time we use them as an anchor. But instead of using them as an anchor and letting it weigh you down, we got to learn how to use it as a slingshot and catapult us into a next era of better things and bigger goals. These things are not here to break us. These things are actually here to build you up. These things is actually here to shake you up and shake that hard crust off you that's weighing you down, so that that new, fresh you can come out stronger and greater and actually line up with the real reason that the Most High put you here, to find your purpose and to be better as a person and a better example to those who don't have what you have or have not discovered what you're discovering. Your reason is never going to be pleasant. It's not going to be docile. It's not sitting somewhere in the cut waiting for you to just wallow around in its convenience. It's not the way it works. Contrary, it's demanding your attention. It's demanding your energy. It's demanding you to actually be more obedient. You get up every day and you run from the things that's in your heart that make you great. And it's not only stunting your growth, but it's actually depriving others who are watching you and waiting for your development to give them the confidence to move forward. It's like when in the movie Roots, when Kunta Kinte was getting beat because he wouldn't say his name was Toby, and everybody was watching him, and though they seen the pain on him, more so they seen the confidence on him not to be broken. And silently it was building them up to rebel, to fight alongside of him, to that moment where they actually broke him and he gave up, and it shook everyone else's energy. That's an example of how you running from your real purpose and your real reason, your real assignment. That's an example of how it throws other people off, when it's supposed to be you being the example to build other people up. Your reason for having your gift and for being here isn't just about you. It's actually designed for others who pay attention to you and learn from you, and they actually gain strength from your courage. They gain courage. From your ambition, they gain ambition. From your diligence, they gain diligence. From your discipline, they gain discipline. People often talk about generational wealth and generational curses. Well, there's certain cycles that can be gained or broken through your confidence. From someone watching you and your example, those generational chains and curses can be broke from your diligence and obedience to certain laws and statutes. Other people gain the confidence to keep those laws, apply those laws, and apply those statutes. But when you run from it and you have been set here to be the example, you help throw all the rest of everything else off course. And you have to see it that way because you have a responsibility to fix it. And you will, in fact, fix it because you finally chose to show up fully. And your reason isn't always just flat out in the open. Sometimes it comes disguised in those moments where you at your darkest point and you feel like you broken, but it's actually there to wake you up out of your comfort, give you some new strength, some new courage, and throttle you to your next position because you realize you don't want to stay down. Sometimes your reason and your purpose shows up as a moment of frustration, as a moment of despair, as a moment where you feel like things are hopeless, but it turns into a moment where you actually gain new reasons to keep pushing. And ultimately, what it's going to do is reveal to you some things in your life you were called to change and you just did not see prior to that time. It's called righteous discomfort. And you're going to learn to move from that time. And you're going to learn how to move because that discomfort is going to make you seek that moment and that feeling of actual comfort that you are more familiar with. And this thing is not showing up to punish you. It's actually here to push you forward. You was never here to get comfortable and stay in your comfort zone. In order to grow, you have to learn to rise from the moment where you are now and learn to set in front of you a new goal and a new reason to keep moving forward.